When it comes to deck boxes for Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and other standard-sized trading card games, it can often be hard to decide which is right for your cards. That's why this video will compare and contrast the Arc wooden deck box from Ultra Pro, the brand new Cross deck box from Xbeau Gaming, the Timewalker standard flip deck box, as well as the new M2, which is also from Ultra Pro. But with so many choices, some are better than others, sometimes by a lot. Let's take a look. Let's begin with the Arc by Ultra Pro. The Arc holds 100 double-sleeved cards as well as a few dice, and has a sort of life counter etched into the side. Retail price is $59.99. The lid is secure when closed, but the slide shut design is a major problem, as it is prone to scraping up against itself when opened and closed, and this can potentially catch your cards. During my testing, I had several cards damaged due to the lid, and I even unintentionally snagged a few cards here during filming. Even the slightest scrape of the lid is potentially disastrous. Although it has built-in thumb notches, access to your cards is far from easy. I found it consistently awkward to reach in and try and take out my deck, and I needed to resort to just turning the deck box over and dumping out the deck, which is fine, except that if there's dice in the holder, they will spill out in the process. The dice holder is very small, and Ultra Pro says it was meant to only hold 2 D20s and nothing more. I believe them, as even a few small bead counters makes access difficult. Ultra Pro says on their website that the Arc is handmade with premium wood, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that claim. Maybe this is indeed handmade, whatever that technically entails, but the wood seems very rough, very plain, and far from anything as premium in comparison to the woods we've seen other craftsmen such as Aaron Kane, Wormwood, and Xbeau employ. In fact, there seems to be blemishes throughout the box, and they look like some kind of plastic or glue has been nicked or chipped off. On the sides of this box lid, there's discolorations that look like splotches of something. Glue would be my guess. It's not a natural discoloration in the wood, I'll tell you that. And the box has this layered appearance where it looks like dozens of incredibly thin sheets of wood have been stacked and pressed together in order to make the box itself. Very strange design. The sides of the interior are rough, not smooth, and in addition to the problem with the lid, your cards can catch on the coarseness of the sides. Speaking of that lid, it's very hard to capture on these photos, but there's these scratches on the inside of the lid from it rubbing against itself when it's opened or closed. Here's the card from my deck that got caught during filming. Luckily it was double sleeved, but look at the bend and mark that the outer sleeve received from this deck box. In my grade book, that's unacceptable. The closure of the Arc is actually quite secure. Once it is shut, the magnet is going to hold it very much in place. This isn't something that is going to come open, very likely in your backpack or with any amount of jostling during transport, but unfortunately that lid is also the biggest problem. Listen to this. That friction, that contact, is not a good thing because unfortunately the cards inside the Arc are right up at the very lip, and oftentimes just a smidgen of that card being pushed up because, you know, they're not always going to lie perfectly flat. That's when a card gets caught. I had that happen to me a lot during testing. I had it happen once during filming, and that unfortunately is how cards get damaged. This was originally going to be a D until I discovered the consistent damage of the interior cards. That's what I reserve fail grades for. Not for really incompetent designs, but for products that can actually damage rather than protect your cards. My deepest sympathy goes out to anyone who spent $59.99 to purchase one of these for themselves. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Especially when you can spend the exact same amount and buy one of these. The brand new Bow deck boxes from Xbeau Gaming. These are indeed handmade craftsman boxes with premium woods. From aromatic cedar to cherry, maple, white oak, and premium walnut. Inside each is a dice and counter tray that holds more than just 2 D20s. The tray also has an added purpose of ensuring your deck is completely safe and secure beneath it, giving an extra layer of protection between your cards and the opening lid. The outside of the box is finished with a hand-rubbed Danish oil finish for a matte appearance that's both beautiful and durable. Danish oil dries completely within 24 hours of the deck box's creation, and it has no oily residual issues. The inside of the box is not touched with any finish at all, ensuring that there is no interaction between your cards and any type of finish. Also, by leaving the interior unfinished wood makes this much more like a mini humidor, offering a level of humidity control from the wood itself. Beautiful and sturdy latches and hinges. Every inch of these boxes is true premium quality. While there's a variety of styles and wood choices available, the price range remains reasonable, mostly ranging just from $59.99 to $69.99 for this style of box. Of course, if you want premium woods like cherry, that can raise the cost. I really love how this small, compact, and elegant deck box is designed so that your cards don't come anywhere close to the opening. So we're not going to have any problems like we did with the Arc. With the dice tray in place, you can open and shut one of these deck boxes. I just love that latch. As many times as you want, as quickly as you want, and there is not the slightest chance of any card being out of place in a way where it's going to get caught. It's an extra layer of protection, and I really like that. There really doesn't need to be much in the way of a test. This is a secure latch. It's only going to come open if you want it to come open. Holds over 100 double-sleeved cards, premium craftsmanship and materials. This is a solid A as always, both affordable and effective. While more and more card shops are beginning to request these boxes, a link to Xbeau's online store can be found in the description of this video. Timewalker, another company that specializes in handmade products and premium materials, offers their own top-loading flip deck box, seen here with the Game of Thrones Houses series. This deck box definitely feels thick and durable, but sadly the same high quality could not seem to provide a strong magnetic latch. I've personally never been much of a fan of these flip boxes, but I have reviewed several by now that hold more cards and that have magnetic closures that keep it much more secure than this. The Timewalker series, after all, only has an 80 card capacity, 100 if you don't double sleeve. So while the materials are indeed very nice, I still think we've seen better. Nonetheless, the Timewalker series is distinct in the quality of materials and craftsmanship, and a weak magnetic closure is really the biggest con about these boxes. I think a lot of players who are fans of Game of Thrones might be willing to look the other way when it comes to the magnetic closure, and everyone who holds one of these is going to appreciate the premium materials and stitching. Grade? I feel this is a solid B, although I do hope to see some larger capacity versions of these made available in the future. Now here is something I had a feeling I'd like right from the moment I saw it, and that's the M2 deck box from Ultra Pro. How did I know I'd like this? Well, it's an identical design as the deck boxes Ultimate Guard first put out years ago, and it even has nearly as high a quality materials. The M2 holds 75 double-sleeved cards securely in its removable tray, and also has a second removable tray just for dice encounters. The exterior is a thick, durable, stippled material that is almost indistinguishable, at least to my own eye and touch, from Ultimate Guard's patented Xenoskin. The box's construction, however, has a few imperfections, mostly that the various sides and panels are not always interlocked with one another in such a way as to form a flat, smooth surface. If you look closely, you can see a slight bulbous quality to the box. It even wobbles just a bit when placed on a flat surface, but this is a minimal complaint at best. The other distinct difference between this and the Ultimate Guard version is the interior. Here, Ultra Pro spared some expense, offering a much cheaper but still acceptable interior lining. But it's not the suede-like microfiber of the Ultimate Guard line. It's nice, but there's a coarseness to it, and the trays don't slide in and out as smoothly as in the Ultimate Guard. Nonetheless, the M2 is a great deck box, offering optimal storage size and design, sturdy, high durability materials, and a variety of stylish colors. Alright, so I have my full deck inside of the M2, as well as the tray with some dice encounters in it. Let's make sure not to place my hands over the actual flaps when we do the shake test, and try it the other way. Again, I'm not in any way holding the flaps down. Yeah, looks good. All right, so we've got a really nice magnetic closure. It's probably something that benefits from the fact that this design wraps around a little bit, adding to that security. I think that this is a really nice product. The biggest problem with it, besides the interior lining, which is not a major deal, is that so much of the sides and top are ever so slightly bulbous and lopsided as to create a slightly flimsier exterior. The materials are still very, very thick, very, very durable. I like this a lot. I do wish Ultra Pro offered these in the many other sizes that Ultimate Guard has, because as of now, this is only available to hold 75 double-sleeved cards. Grade: the M2 is a B+. Compared to the Timewalker time box that I reviewed in a previous video, which was a B because it had quality materials but no removable trays whatsoever. And of course, the best version of this style comes from the original designers, the Ultimate Guard Flippin' Trays, which are a solid A. But watch out, Ultimate Guard. Ultra Pro and other companies are catching up to the great designs you first put out years ago. Ha ha ha. Want to see how these boxes compare and contrast to the others that I have reviewed? See a complete list of all products and all grades from every video I've ever done at TellarianCommunityCollege.com. Not only are all grades available here, but each product has a clickable link to the appropriate review in case you want to hear me drone on about details and show close-up shots of the product in action. So check out TellarianCommunityCollege.com today.